So this is going to be a purely objective deconstruction of a couple of comments he made. All right. I don't want to see any insults in the comments. I don't want to see any slander. Bro, you know what? If you want to do that, that's fine, because you're just gifting him your hasanat at this point. Literally, you're just gifting him your hasanat. So don't do that, Bev. It's not smart. Right. Let's mute myself and get this show going. Bismillah.
Their husband doesn't want them to.
I can tell you, like, as a traditional man, if you're asking the question, I can list the things that we want.
Yeah. Sometimes it's good to know that as well.
Yeah, I'll be honest with you. Like, for number one, for example, I want to be, like, for example, the provider. I believe in a relationship, if the woman is a provider, it will not work out. Now, this doesn't mean a woman cannot have a job. Of course, she can have a job. If my wife wanted to go do a part-time job because she wants to, I have no problem. That money is hers. She can do whatever she likes with it. But I will never allow her to pay for the rent, the shopping, petrol, whatever it may be. I will say to her, I don't care if you're a multi-millionaire. These are the things I pay for. I don't believe a relationship will work, because a man, for example, will feel very insulted if one day a little argument happens and she goes, well, who pays for the bill? Well, that is, for a man, that's like as good as punching him.
Yeah,
he would never want to hear that, because he feels like he wants to be the maintainer and protector, just as a...
Okay. Brother Ali Dawah makes a solid point there towards the end, by the way. Yeah, but the point I want to address first is his initial statement. Excuse me. If my wife wants to work, then she can work. I will not get in the way of that. And I will not, and I'm just paraphrasing what he said, and I will not take a penny from that money. So this is very important that I want you to pay attention to this, because what I'm about to share with you is something you haven't thought of before. Most likely something you haven't considered before. And I will explain this with a story. So some time back, some quite sad news reached me of some brother who was married for many decades. And he's a well-to-do brother. He does well for himself. We're not talking millionaire, but he does well for himself. He takes care of the family. He takes care of the household. He funds everything. He's taking care of everything. That's all on him. MashaAllah, tabarakallah, Allahumma barik. During this period of time, whereby he was married to his wife for many decades, and they had a number of children with each other, his wife was also working. However, his wife was not contributing towards any of the household bills, because as he saw it, I'm the man, I should pay, this is my job, so on and so forth. In principle, I would agree with you. However, unbeknownst to him, our sister was plotting, calculating, biding her time, saving money. Whilst our brother, mashallah, tabarakallah, was paying for everything, bought the house outright, gave his family a comfortable way of life, his wife was saving money and plotting the next steps years in advance. Women are calculated like this, okay? Very calculated. Years in advance, until she finally dropped the hammer and informed him that she no longer wanted to be with him anymore. This news reached our brother, and he is somewhere in his 60s, okay? He lost the home because the children need a home. That's the way the courts see it. So he lost the home. He's in his 60s. He needs to start afresh again. And he has zero assets. Zero assets. Lost the home. Funded his family's way of living his whole life. And now he has no assets to show for. And before we continue, I need to give a shout out to my guy, Akeem Mujahid. Shout out to you. Allahu Akbar, takbir, shout out to Akeem, mashallah. He's actually, Akeem, let me just read this comment first. My man, shukran for connecting me with great brothers on NSN. Looking forward for a great stream. May Allah bless you. So you are looking for no string nikah, are you? Well, if you are looking for no string nikah, I suggest you download on App Store and Google Play, and maybe you find some halal. On a serious note though, if I put 100 bints in front of most of you men, You would not convert a single one of them because your game is so bad. The way you communicate with women online is so cringe. I am disgusted and horrified with how you communicate with these bints. And that is why No Strings Nikah app is not just a networking place for you to meet sisters who are looking for an arrangement that is not a conventional marriage. It's more of an arrangement that suits her unique situation. She's been married a couple of times. She's got kids. They're her main priority. On and on and on. If you've heard me speak about it before, you know exactly what I'm talking about. And for you brothers with dead game, there are 2 groups on there to help you improve this. The NSN Brothers group and the Muslim Man group ran by Nabil, which has some absolute gems. Gems. Even the cat's looking at me like, Bev, for real. So download No Strings Nikah on Google, on the Google Play Store or Apple App Store now. You know, we have a community on NSN. The way that No Strings Nikah app has unfolded is very interesting because these things take a life of their own and you're sort of directed by the feedback you get from those who actually use the app. And we have a thriving community on NSN, a thriving community. If you want to test out the app for free, you're welcome to. 7-day free trial. Just download on the App Store or Google Play. You'll be able to find it there, inshallah ta'ala, and just have a look. Not only will you be able to engage with the community, you will be able to benefit from the content that is exclusively put up on NSN, whether it's from Muslim Man, Nabil, shout out to him, who's got some amazing content. Amazing content. I've shared it on my community feed on YouTube. Check it out there. Or whether it's myself putting posts up or Afsa with regards to diet, Coach Afsa. It's very holistic, taking care of not just the women. Where are the women? Taking care of your looks, taking care of your game. Finances is something we may consider in the future. But for now, looks and game on lock, only on NSN. For 999 pennies a month. Shout out to you, Akim. I appreciate you, Akhi. Going back to our story. So the brother now is in his 60s. He spent a lifetime of saving money to reinvest into his family, as most men do, whilst at the same time his wife was working and saving her own money, not spending on the house because he believed he was the man. At the conclusion of this breakup, once they had broken up, he started to feel some type of way, and he expressed that he felt extreme regret, extreme remorse for ever having paid for everything. He wished he made his wife pay for at least some of the stuff. What's your opinion on this? What's your view on this? Do you agree? Do you disagree? And why? Should she have paid for some of the stuff? Should she have contributed towards the house? Should she have contributed towards bills? Yes or no? And why? Because I know some of you men are going to be like, yes, absolutely, she should have. How could she? Blah, blah, blah. Emotional reaction. I will answer the question for you. The answer is yes, she should have contributed towards the affairs of the household. You heard me say it. And allow me to explain why. I will explain to you. Habibi, be patient, Habibi. I am coming, ya bin Ammi. I will explain it. Everything will be explained. Just do me one favor whilst I am explaining everything.
Shut up your mouth, Obama.
Please, just shut up your mouth, Obama. I see in the chat lots of people waffling. Stop the waffling, please.
Shut up your mouth, Obama.
There is too much of this.
This is number one bullshit.
Too much. Just go and,
Go wash your ass.
like Psycho Omar says, it's very simple. Please, I will explain it to you why she should have paid some of the household affairs. Let me tell you why. First of all, let us balance this conversation in reality. The reality is, I don't want to look into the camera. I'm going to look into the computer, okay? Actually, you know what, Bunda? Let me look into the camera. The reality is most households require 2 incomes. Sadly, this is the reality that we live in. Since women have participated or joined the workforce, the value of labor, which, by the way, Sister Wa'ad pointed out, and shout out to Sister Wa'ad because I watched this whole podcast and she made some very articulate points. I've had Sister Wa'ad on my podcast in the past and I was impressed with her articulation. I'm going to be perfectly honest with you. Usually, when I listen to women talk, it's just noise. Yani, بصراحة, yani, your points are weaving left and right. There's so much networking going up, down, left, right, and it's just so difficult to pay attention. But Sister Wa'ad made some logical points that were well articulated. So Jazakallah khair. Since women have entered the workforce, the value of labor has halved. That means now we need 2 people to do the job of 1 person 60 years ago. 2 incomes are now a bare minimum to run a household for most people. This is the situation. So if you find yourself in a situation whereby you have to work and your wife has to work, so be it. So be it. Yani, we can't criticize these brothers and say, oh, shame on these brothers, how dare they ask their wives to provide. Yani, what's your solution, ya bin ammi? Are they inferior men? No, they're the same men who are working 40 hours as the men of 60 years ago were working 40 hours. Actually, they were probably working less then. But the value of labor has halved. So I'm extending an empathetic ear or an empathetic stance to the majority of average men who find themselves in this situation. He wishes he could pay for everything. Billah, wallahi, he wishes he could. But it is what it is. His wife maybe has to work part-time or he has to take on an extra shift and it's still not enough and they're just struggling to make ends meet. So yani, I would like to, Habibi Yusuf, alaikum assalam wa rahmatullah. I would like us to understand that this is the reality of most people's living situations. Okay? Right. Now we've discussed that. Let's get to the second point of this. Let's say that you are a man who is in a fortunate enough situation, excuse me, whereby you are able to take care of the affairs of your household without your wife participating. You're able to do it on your own. This is actually quite unique in this day and age, in the West we're talking about, because it's just expensive to live. I'm not even factoring in inflation. It's very difficult for a household to run on a single average income. That's the key word here, on a single average income. So I'm not shaming these men because the majority of men are average, right? But you're a man who is able to take care of the affairs of the household on your own. Now what? Your wife turns around and she says to you, Habibi, I want to work. And by the way, it's my you have no right to touch my money. You cannot touch my money. She's right. Her money is her money. And your money is for yourself and for the household, for the family. But here's where I draw the line. Habibti, listen to me, ya bint ammi. You are about to learn it. The very important principle I am about to explain it to you. Very important. Okay. I don't need you to work. Yeah, it's very important, Habibti, you understand. I don't need you to work. What I do need you to do is be at home, take care of the children, have my food ready for me, be relaxed and happy when I come home. If you start to work, if you go to work, the chances are, not chances, definitely you are going to start to become stressed out. You are going to come home tired. You are going to expect me to participate in some of the affairs of the household, whether it's chores, cooking, and so on. So now here we have 2 problems. I am doing 100% of my role, which is providing for you and the family, but you are doing 50% of your role, or 40%, or 30%. So let's say you're a man who doesn't have a problem with your wife working. Okay, fine, Habibti, no problem. You want to work? Not a problem, Habibti. I'm going to continue to pay for everything. Okay? But if you want to go to work, Habibti, you're taking value away from me. I'm going to come home and not only am I going to be tired, but you're probably going to be tired. You're going to be stressed out from whatever it was you done at work. Food might not be ready on time because you were at work. You may well expect me to participate around the house with that regards to the household chores and so on. No problem, Habibti, I will do that. And you will pay for half the bills. Where's my slap? Where's my freaking slap? You will pay for half the bills. And again, bend over. I couldn't help it. I'm sorry. Astaghfirullah. Why? Because you're taking value away from me. This is a value exchange. This brother and this story that I just explained to you was a man who was in a fortunate enough position to be able to take care of the affairs of his household on his own without his wife contributing. So therefore, if she goes to work, no problem, you're going to contribute as well. Because you're taking the value away from me. You're coming home tired. You're coming home stressed. Food's not always going to be ready on time. You're going to expect me to do stuff around the house as well. You're taking value away from me. And this is where I disagree with our brother Ali Dawah. If my wife wants to work, she can work, no problem. I don't mind. And I will continue to pay for everything. I'm a donkey. I must be a donkey. An ahmar to accept this. No. You take value away from me. I take value away from you. Point blank, period. Bend over. You understand my point, don't you? Right. We will keep it moving. Bismillah.
This fear mongering that's been happening, and you can see it, subhanallah. And the study, like in the book that I'm reading, Miseducation of Women, James Tooley, he talks about it. There was a study done from the 1970s, and Mohammed Hijab mentioned in this podcast, the 1990s, that they interviewed about 100,000 women. And, you know, if you look at it, they are less happy. The fact that all of you sisters are in sync, like, I'll be honest with you, that the fact that you're like, because you know why? You want a husband that will protect and provide. It's not the other way of this whole career woman, etc. You can see that women are less happy in the workplace. I think 78% or 80% of women said that they get stressed. You know, they have psychological issues pertaining to having to go to work. They want somebody. So if you look at our sisters or Muslim females at large as well, they generally don't want to go work. They want traditional men. But the point is also, we need to be bearing in mind as well, are there traditional men? Yeah, and that's another issue as well.
So this is where I would politely suggest to our brother Ali Dawah that there's a bit of cognitive dissonance going on here. On the one hand, our brother has said that, mathalan, if his wife wanted to work, no problem, she can work. But then on the other hand, he acknowledges from this study from James Tooley that when a woman goes to work and is in the workplace, she's stressed out. فوق اللازم يعني. Above the norm. She's stressed out. She may experience depression. It's not her natural environment. It's not her natural place. She's feeling some type of way. So let me tell you something, Habibi Ali Dawah, and this is yani where we have to talk a little bit sternly now. Okay? You understand that a woman going to the workplace puts her in a situation whereby she is not functioning properly, mentally stressed out and so on. She is no longer in an optimal state for you. At the exact same time, you expect men to take care of the affairs of the household on their own without requesting anything from their wife. If a man is gonna do that, then guess what? If a woman expects a man to be performing optimally for her in the house, then I as a man expect my wife to be performing optimally for me and the children. This is the equity. This is the exchange of value. If I am to fulfill my end of the bargain, whilst she is compromised in her end of the bargain, la habibti, you're not going to work. Go to the kitchen and work a meal for me. Make work for meal or something like this, you know. Why you work for boss? You work for a big boss. I am big boss. Go make me dinner, food. Go to the kitchen or something. Favorite place in the house. Why would I accept this? Value exchange. Those are the 2 points that I wanted to make to our brother Ali Dawah. And I know he's going to see this. I know he will see this. And I know that we're going to have a conversation soon, inshallah ta'ala. We will. And like I say, keep it respectful, guys. If you start speaking disrespectfully, you're only hurting yourself, to be quite frank with you. So if you like that clip and you want to watch another one, click right here. And if you want to watch the entire podcast, click right here.